Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch facing partisan attacks throughout 10 hours today. Democratic Senator Dick Durbin challenging his decision in the Hobby Lobby case, in which Gorsuch ruled the company shouldn't be compelled to provide coverage for birth control because of religious objections.
Congress can change the law. It can go back to Smith versus Maryland if it wants to, eliminate RFRA altogether. It could say that only natural persons have rights under RFRA. It could lower the test on strict scrutiny to a lower degree of review if it wished. It has all of those options available, Senator. And if we got it wrong, I'm sorry. But we did our level best, and we were affirmed by the United States Supreme Court.
And joining me now, Josh Blackman. He's associate professor at the South Texas College of Law in Houston, an adjunct scholar at the Cato Institute. You must have had a lot of fun today as a constitutional scholar watching much of the testimony. Great to have you here. Your thoughts about how well the judge performed?
Judge Gorsuch proved why President Trump selected him. He's very smart. He's very well spoken. He has a deep command of the law and the Constitution, and he handled all the senator's questions with respect, with dignity, perhaps more dignity than the questions deserved. And he really demonstrated why he was selected.
Yeah, it was. I said this already on the show tonight, but I thought the moments there between Senator Cruz and Judge Gorsuch were a masterclass in law. It was an extraordinary exchange, I thought.
You know, Senator Cruz was a former Supreme Court clerk. Neil Gorsuch was a former Supreme Court clerk. And they are really operating on a different level. Cruz wasn't trying to score cheap points by asking him questions he knew couldn't be answered. He was trying to probe, what do you think of the Constitution? How did the framers understand the Constitution? What is originalism? This was a very profound discussion, and we were all better off for listening to it.
And we also listened to Senator Blumenthal remind everyone of what Judge Gorsuch had said at the time that President Trump was criticizing district court judges who had stayed his order, and he said he was still disheartened by those who criticized the court system. And I, as you and I have discussed, what I think most of us who were criticizing those judges truly and profoundly believe and have significant evidence to the effect that those judges were operating outside any kind of semblance of correct judicial process and have to receive scrutiny and criticism. It's an important part of our democracy, is it not?
Judge Gorsuch's answer to Senator Blumenthal was right on point. He said everyone has a First Amendment right, including the president. And he said if the president wants to criticize the decision, he can. Judge Gorsuch did say that you shouldn't be challenging the honesty and the integrity of the judges, but their decisions are fair game.
Yeah. I have to be honest with you. I'm challenging their honesty, their integrity, because I truly believe that a person with integrity could not possibly have arrived at those conclusions. Maybe that's unfair, but it is also fair comment on, I believe, on judicial decisions that are outside the mainstream and so markedly off base when it comes to both the context of the law, the refusal to look at the language of the order itself, and the Constitution. What do you think?
Well, I'll give you one more, Lou. A number of the judges in this case have actually referenced President Trump, saying it's wrong that he's criticizing the courts. Here, I think the judges are crossing a line. They have lifetime tenure. They need to stiffen up. They should not be using their opinions to lash back to the president for exercising his free speech rights. I think that's inappropriate as well.
Amen, brother. Can I say that to a constitutional scholar? Amen, brother. But,
it's okay. No establishment clause in Fox Business. We're good.
Excellent. Excellent. The judge, obviously a brilliant fellow, as you said, a terrific judge. What do you think the odds are that we're going to see the Democrats and the head clown, as President Trump calls him, Chuck Schumer, continue his venal, nasty, destructive ways and perhaps be maneuvering just as the majority leader in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, said to no replacement at all for Antonin Scalia on the court?
Well, I think this is a case where the Republicans want to be thrown in the briar patch. If, in fact, the Democrats try to filibuster Gorsuch, that will trigger what's known as a nuclear option, which means they simply eliminate the filibuster altogether. That only takes a majority vote. Harry Reid did it for the lower courts. It can be done for the Supreme Court. And if that happens when Justice Kennedy retires, when Justice Ginsburg retires, the magic number becomes 51 and not 60. And that would be a real blow to the Democrats. But if the Democrats try to filibuster, I think the Republicans will be all too happy.
All right. Josh Blackman, as always, great to have you with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lou.
Secretary of State Tillerson will